Run and hide, it's gonna be bad tonight. 'Cause here comes your devil side, it's gonna ruin me. It's almost like slow motion suicide, watching your devil side get between you and me. So tell me what I need to do to keep myself away from you, to keep myself from going down, all the way down with you. Still I want you, but not for your devil side, not for your haunted life, just for you. So tell me why I deal with your devil side, I deal with your dangerous mind, but never with you.
We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes, this debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but O great Christ our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask.
So, when I was younger, I used to go to my grandparents' house like all the time. We lived in like the province, or they did, so that's where I went. There was this bathroom, and the bathroom wasn't connected to the house. So what I'd have to do is like in the evening as a kid, I'd have to ask my grandma to come outside to the courtyard with me, and like it'd be dark and I'd have to go to the bathroom. So we were out in the courtyard, and in the province there's frogs everywhere. In the evening you hear them croaking, and it's disgusting. So disgusting. And then my grandma was like, I'll wait for you here. You cross the courtyard. I'll just sit here. I'm tired. And so what I did was I was like, okay. And as a little girl, I went and walked through the courtyard where I slipped on something, and it was, oh gosh, okay, it was squishy, and I fell, and then it hopped onto my leg, and its friend came up with it too, and it touched my mouth, and I feel really violated just thinking about it. It was the slimiest thing I've ever felt in my life. I had to stand up. My grandma grabbed the broom. It's like this triangular shaped broom, and she was whacking these frogs off. Oh gosh, ew. She was whacking these frogs off of me, and then took me to the bathroom. But ever since then, I've been scared of frogs.
I know there's lots of love in your heart, but who you gonna give it to? I'm sure there's lots of guys that you see, but I swear they're not as cool as me. Girl, I could take you where you wanna go. If you wanna ride, we could watch a movie, hit the beach, or just chill and get high. And we can do whatever you wanna do. Baby, I want some of your love, your love. Baby, can I have some of your love?
Have you ever wanted to make your 3D animations feel like they've been shot by a real camera? Not in the sense that what you're looking at appears photoreal, but rather there is this sense of believability, where it feels like someone had physically recorded what is being shown, much like what you would find in live action. This was an actual goal of several animated features, which I have examined along with my own research in order to create a set of tips which you can apply to your own animations. The depth of field is the distance between the closest and farthest objects on screen that appear relatively sharp. This can be altered by changing the distance of the focus and by changing the aperture size, with large apertures producing a shallow depth of field and small apertures producing a large depth of field. In terms of the placement of the camera, try and base it off what's possible in live action. So no going through walls, flying around, or moving at an impossible pace. Remember that an actual camera has a size and weight, which will affect how a person moves and turns it. The focal length is the distance between the lens and the image sensor of the camera, with the distance affecting how much we can see and the magnification of it. You can combine the focal length with the camera's distance in order to create a dolly zoom effect by moving both at the same time. The term aspect ratio is used to indicate how wide an image is in relation to its height. You're most likely used to the screen size you are seeing right now. However, if you want to apply different sizes, such as the traditional 35mm film look, or give your animation a widescreen appearance, you will need to change the aspect ratio to do this.
is Erin. And I'm Violet. We're 7 and we're nearly 8. So we were walking down the hallway with our friend. We saw someone trying to cut one of our school speakers, so Violet chased them. And then I yelled at them, stop. Wrestled one of them. They freaked out because he was so small, like a dwarf. Just to let you know, they're intermediates and I'm at primary school. The siren's still there, but they need to fix the other sirens that have gone.
最初は一つのアイディアから始まります。頭の中でパッと書きたいシーンが浮かんだり、生活の中でああいいなこれって思ったものからアイディアが浮かぶことが多いです。そのアイディアを紙に適当にスケッチして何を書きたいのかを大体決めちゃいます。完成図がどうなるかはあんまり深く考えないんですよね、書き始めると。その辺は自分の想像力に任せます。書くのが人でも動物でも背景でも物でも最初のアイディアしか気にしないんですよね。完成した絵の出来が良くなるかどうかはその時何を描いてるか次第ですかね。
It's to do with the unknown, I think. I mean, we know a lot about space now, and information has been accumulated at a huge rate in the last few decades. But there's still so much mystery. There's so much we don't know, and it's just fascinating. It's the mystery of it, and the grandeur and the size of it. And the part that we play, you can either think of ourselves as being a very small part of a huge cosmic story, or actually quite a large part. Maybe we're the only sentient species in the whole universe that has the ability to even appreciate it.
Last year, I went on a biology trip to a conservatory island for birds and reptiles. We took a bus, and then we took a ferry. It took about an hour, I think. It rained a little bit, so we had to stay inside the ferry for a while. But then, when it stopped raining, we went outside, and the waves just crashed into the boat, so most of our shoes got wet. I saw a lot of birds, mostly flamingos and stuff, but there were saddlebacks, finches, fantails, takahe, and a lot of ducks. But we didn't get to see any kiwis. I did find a pair of moorporks, and the guide said it was the first time they've ever seen moorporks there, so that was pretty cool.
I like a guy, and when we spend more time together, we feel like we both like each other. But then when time passes, we find out it might be better for both of us just to be friends. I guess that's the first time for me to feel really heartbroken. I feel really empty. I cry a lot. That's the first time ever. I kind of had a thought of dying. I guess I was just dumb, even though I know it's not worth it, because he's not the only guy. I deserve someone better.
In high school in year 11. It was the end of the day and I was going to the bus stop, and before I go to the bus stop there's like a road where I have to cross the traffic lights, and my friend comes up to me and he says, "Ah, do you know what 예쁘다 means?" 예쁘다 means pretty in Korean. After he asked me what 예쁘다 means, I was like, "Ah, thank you." He was like, no. At that moment, I think I thought that he was saying that I'm pretty when he didn't actually mean it. But I don't know if it actually meant the other way around. But yeah, that was kind of my most embarrassing moment.
Grasping into life. Life is happy, but it's so insane.
엄마가 너를 가졌을 때 꿈을 꿨어. 그걸 한국 사람들은 태몽이라고 하는데 첫 번째 꿈은 구슬 두 개가 나타났어. 하나는 까맣고 너무너무 화려하고 이쁘고 하나는 좀 하얗고 작은 거. 근데 까맣고 화려하고 이쁜 거 엄마가 가지고 하얀 건 엄마 친구 줬어. 그 다음에 두 번째 꿈은 사자 꿈을 꿨어. 하나는 큰 숫사자가 엄마한테로 다가왔어. 그 다음에 세 번째 꿈은 토마토 꿈을 꿨어. 근데 토마토가 너무 탱글탱글하고 막 통통한 토마토를 꿨어. 네가 태어났는데 뭐 토마토처럼 차비차비했어.
我是 Jenny， 我想讲一下关于我的家庭，不是这样，而是这样。我的姥姥告诉我，我们家有50多个家庭成员，她有7个兄弟姐妹。姥姥有3个孩子，分别是大姨、二姨还有我的妈妈。我的爸爸有5个兄弟姐妹。在中国的传统里，每一个家庭成员都有不同的称谓。每次家庭聚会的时候，我都分不清该怎么称呼他们。不管怎样，我很荣幸拥有这么一个大家庭。
To G.
Oh, yeah, okay. To D?
To D.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
First year university was Tim Finn, myself, and we were the worst band in the land. We weren't writing songs because we'd just come out of school where we hadn't been writing songs. And this guy, Phil Judd, went flatting with Tim. And one day Tim rang me, this would have been 1972, our second year at varsity. Phil and I have written 3 songs. And I thought, written 3 songs? What a magical thing to do. So they came around with 2 acoustic guitars and they sat down and sang them. And after they'd finished those 3 songs, I just stood there thinking, I have just witnessed one of the most incredible events in my life. And so I joined those 2, and Tim said, we've got a name, we're going to call ourselves Split Ends.
So when I was 9 years old, I took karate, and in one class we were all punching out candles. And everyone else could do it, but I got really frustrated because I couldn't. And so my senpai was like, throw all your power and all your strength into one last punch, and then we have to go. So I threw the hardest punch a 9-year-old has ever thrown, and completely miss and hit the edge of the table. And that hurt. And I think there's still an imprint of my fist to this day on that table. So yeah.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen.
Okay, so we had this opportunity. The New Zealand Breakers were going for their third in a row win. Was able to take the family down. We got a corporate box seat on the floor. It was a tight game. It was coming down to the last minutes. We were up at the last scoring end of the Breakers. Cedric Jackson scores. The Breakers win. That's 3 in a row. We're suddenly, at the last minute, after the siren, Cedric Jackson jumps the barrier, grabs my wife Karen, gives her a hug, grabs me, gives her a hug. That's 3 in a row for a Breakers. What an awesome, awesome night. Thanks.
So yeah, at home we have a cat called Tubby. And Tubby's so fat and so fluffy that you just want to squish Tubby to death, man. It's so big, man. And yeah, the other day I saw him trying to climb a fence 10 times his height. And I was like, no way Tubby will be able to climb that fence. It's so big. And I was like, yeah, I saw him doing it. He did it. And I was like, wait, what? A cat that fat is able to jump something that high? And imagine if I can do that. You know, I'll be able to like join the X-Men and just save people's lives. You know, I'll be famous. I'll be everywhere. I'll be on billboards. That'll be really awesome.
When I went to Canada, when I was in intermediate, we were going to catch a bus. I ran for the bus, and so I looked outside the window, realized no one got on the bus with me. I just sat in the bus calmly, but luckily the bus driver got contacted by my family saying that there's a 11-year-old girl on the bus who got on by herself. She's lost her family, so my family could pick me up from the next main station. Just as I was about to get off the bus, my mom was so happy to see me again, and she gave me a big hug and was grateful that I was back and that I wasn't lost.
So this lady rings up one day and she goes, "Oh, hi there. So I've been petting my cat and I noticed that my hand was wet. So I looked down at my hand and I realised that there's blood. And then I looked at my cat's face and he doesn't have an eyeball anymore." And I go, "So he doesn't have an eyeball?" And she goes, "Yeah, well, I can't see an eyeball. So is there any cream that I can maybe put on his eye?" And I'm like, So he's missing an eyeball and you want cream to put on his eye?" And she goes, "I don't really want to bring him in. Well, maybe I'll call you back in a couple of days. I'll just see, I have to get some money together." And then she hung up.
Chứ này cao. Tổn nó nải nhú tiếp ba.คนเดินเต็มแต่นี่ดีเขาก็พูดแล้วว่าญี่ปุ่นบุกขึ้นไปตอน9 โมงตรงนั้นนักไปกันป่าเรือไปเอาป่าข้าวบิดซี่นกทองเนาะจำได้ว่าไปเห็นจ้องคุณเนี่ยคลองมันกว้างเลยแต่ว่าหญ้ามันหมาคือไปที่ข้าวนี่แต่เดี๋ยวมันช่องว่างเป็นช่องฮิตนึงป้าเป็นป้าหมดเนี่ยโอ้เรือโชดเล่ที่ขึ้นเล่ที่เพื่อนบ่อยากขึ้นมันญี่ปุ่นยิงเดินขึ้นไปเล่นี่ Mày mà bộ mày ôm mày tiền đấy má cái nó chết mất này thế nào bin đó này. Mày cười đến má cái này.
The first time I got sleep paralysis was right when I was about to go into the deep sleep. My eyes were still closed, but it's like someone put like a really bright white light against the right side of my face, and I began hearing music, like really old style music, as if it was on a record players, and I heard voices as if you just walk into a cafe or a restaurant and you just hear people chatting, voices just all around me. I couldn't move at all, but I could open my eyes, and when I did, I looked down, and it was as if someone with long black hair just dipped their hair into water. It was created like a wave of just black hair, like, or seaweed, like, kind of thing just up against my face.
My name is Thomas, and I would define myself as a graffiti artist. I always had a passion for drawing since I was very young. Me and my friend, we would always sit and draw in class despite getting yelled at by the teacher because it was just something we loved. Most of my artwork these days comes from my dreams that I have. I mean, some people will go to sleep at night, have a dream and not remember it in the morning. But for me, mine are very vivid, and I always remember it and have a picture or an idea in my head that I can expand and put on an artboard. So that's just really my story about my passion.
Well, my favorite season is winter because first of all, I don't like warm temperatures like in summer. I hate sweating and everything. So winter's cold weather and temperatures just right for me, and like the breeze and the cold wind, the way they just brush against my cheek, it feels really nice. So I like winter. And even if it gets too cold outside, I can just come in, maybe make myself a hot coffee, and I can go to my bedroom and my bed will be waiting for me. I can just go in and have a nice, just have a nice rest of the day, and the bed is going to be warm and everything, and it feels nice.
On a trip back to my parents in Vermont, I found out that apparently I've always had this fascination with meerkats that I didn't even realize, like when I was a little kid and I forgot all about it. So somewhere in the back of my head, I guess I've always known that I find them interesting. And I always spent the most time at the zoo looking at the meerkats, for instance. And then it was when my wife met me and I was already started to work on this meerkat project that she kind of identified that a lot of my mannerisms are already very meerkat-like as well, very kind of flighty, anxious, and, so it was almost like I was in many ways kind of an embodiment of the thing that I was trying to create. Somewhere in there's all kinds of sort of unspoken things that attracted me to it.